Key point example right here. I'm gonna give it to you. One of the best phones that was ever released. One of the best phones that could have been. Well, guys, I hold in my hand the latest from LG. This is the last official launch of an LG device, the LG Wing. So a lot of you guys keep asking me what I feel about LG leaving the smartphone world. Hey, listen, phones like that and the V60 and the Velvet. Shout out to my man Grant S. He's another LG collector and fan of LG, alongside me and Juan and Eric and Forbes Tech, my Project 13. There's a lot of us out there who like LG products, and we've consistently promoted LG products on our channels. And I see a lot of people talking about LG right now. It's just like news to them. Like, I guess just something to talk about, and I respect that. No shade or anything like that. But for me, I've been rocking with Xiaomi for a long time, HTC, Sony, BlackBerry. I'm still that crazy person hoping and wishing and praying for another BlackBerry OS device. So when it comes to LG so-called leaving the smartphone game, okay, they could bounce or whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm still going to use their products. Like the rollable phone is now, there's people are showing that online. It's showing it, but it's not going to release and things like that. So I just think it's for a lot of people, it's just news or something to talk about, right? But for people who are true enthusiasts of something, or they really like something, you can see their track record. So I don't have to explain how much I like LG. I've done this a bunch of times already. Some of you guys kept asking, Jay, what do you feel about that? And I don't really feel any type of way. I guess I just feel like they're doing what's best for that department. The mobile phone department. They're making sure they take care of themselves. That's what it's ultimately about. So if in fact they do decide to completely, they announced it, but anything could change, man. It's not, hope is not always just lost right away. But for now, they're not profitable in that department. So all the people out there, that LG's trash, LG has never been good, their phones are gimmicks, all this other stuff like that. I don't even acknowledge that, because those people that's just their opinion, and we all get one. So I don't even trip on stuff like that. But I just feel like for LG enthusiasts, you need to grab a Wing. You need to grab one of these as quick as possible, because this phone is not bad by any means. These cameras on here are beast mode. It's just an all around great phone. We're talking about a 6.8-inch display. This video isn't about so much this phone. It's just that there's so many LG phones out there, and I got plenty over there in my office. I didn't feel like sitting in the office today. But there's so many things to love about LG and what they do. They're the first at several things on the market, and I talked about this in the last LG video I did, before it was like officially noticed, put on notice that they were gonna bounce and just move around and say, smartphones, we got to drop y'all for now. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like LG is just like HTC. It's just like several other companies out there who brought things to the market. It got kind of clowned or whatever, but then when somebody else does it, it's the best thing ever. So you can never, once a person makes their seal on something, like Muhammad Ali, you know what I'm saying, you can never take away what he did. You know what I'm saying? Joe Louis, Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson. You can't take away these people for what they stamped on a seal for something. You know what I'm saying? Jesus. You can't, hey, you can't ignore what these individuals have done. And so when it comes to the smartphone game, LG can go ahead and brush their shoulders off, because even if this is the last phone that they produce and they don't bring any more phones to the market, they shined just like Sony did when they were out front in the US. You guys remember when Sony was on carriers? You could walk into a T-Mobile store, AT&T or whatever, and see a big old display of Sony phones being dunked in water by the little demonstration thing. Remember that? So HTC, first 3D phones and all that stuff, 3D cameras, all these things are innovation, but sometimes things come too quick. They come too fast, and the world isn't ready for it. So when it comes to LG, I just feel like you don't get this perfect run. You know, they've had their share. Now, this isn't a video to praise LG in any kind of way to say that they're flawless. I've said it before, they should have stepped their marketing game up a little bit better. Keep the phones out of the hands of the people who are biased, like flat out biased. If you know it's a person who's a Samsung person or an Apple person or whatever, or OnePlus, if you just know somebody who doesn't know how to actually review a device and see it for what it should be used for, just keep it out of their hands, because they're just going to say it's really, really bad without even giving it a try. They're going to use it for a few days and be like, this is garbage. It doesn't compare to this. But that's not how you review a device. Those are, I'm going to go ahead and do hashtag overviews, because that's pretty much like hashtag the media, hashtag bumpy cam, replay crew, hashtag overviewers, because that's pretty much what they do. You know, I watched, if you haven't seen Eric's video, I watched I watched his video on fake versus real. And in his video, he pretty much is pointing out the same stuff I've pointed out in the past. We're all kind of reiterating the same things. You know what I'm saying? It's about you, the viewer, have to determine the person that you're watching. Are you being entertained, or are you getting the truth? And it's not to say that they're lying to you. It's just called omitting or redirecting your attention to something. You know what I'm saying? How could a person say, how could anyone say that LG G8 was a flop, that was boring, the V30, the V40, the V50, how the V10, how could a person say, or anyone in the smartphone game say, or the tech world say, that those phones were really good, the software was horrible? Okay, the software, everything is subjective. But those cameras crush. You remember when I ditched my new Galaxy S10e or S20 or whatever it was for the LG G8? I think it was the S10e. I got rid of that thing for the LG G8 because the LG G8, the videos are still up. The portrait video was introduced by LG. The wide angle lens was introduced by LG. So LG isn't flawless because they put the products in the wrong hands. Like given this, when they introduced the thing, all of the emotion or whatever it is, and the twist and all that stuff, they gave it to J-Lo. Now, brush your shoulders off. I was a fan of J-Lo. I'm saying, no diss to her, but that's the wrong person to give it to. She's a music industry person. She should be up there doing dancing and all that stuff. She don't have no phones. Get that stuff into the right hands of the people that's going to give it a fair shot. Now, I want to piggyback something that Eric was talking about in his video about them getting the phones first and having it for like a month, then putting out a video as soon as the phone drops. Listen, OEMs, you can go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? You can do that, but you can do that because I do it. I get phones sometimes. Sometimes I got stuff laying on the table I've had for 3 weeks. But when I'm giving you my first video, it's my unboxing and first impressions. It's not the full review and then I'm moving on to something else. No shade on people who do videos like that. I'm straight up respect. I'm not gonna say your name in my video, but you know who these people are. The phone drops, they do a full review, and then they might do one more video. Might do one more video. But that next video looks exactly like the first video. So Eric in his video, the real and fake joint, he's pointing out like the reality of YouTube. I mean, we've all talked about this at one point or another. I need to get T and Eric. We need to link that back up again. I know I'm not like available right now. Shout out to Gigi. I'm gonna give you that Thursday. I just got something going on right now, and I'm tied up in the evening time. So if you notice, I'm pretty much on. Videos are being recorded in the daytime. In the evening time, I'm kind of taking care of some business. So family. But I feel like the discussion is better at a round table. Like, example, when I used to go to these ZT events, right? Shout out to my man Sammer, shout out to my man I was gonna say Bruce. Yeah, oh my God. Don't kill me, man. Oh my God, he gonna kill me. The ZTE crew, look, those cats kept it real. They didn't go to meetings and act like the executive. They told those cats, if you was in some of those meetings, you know, Night Tech, you was there, Mobile Geezy, you was there. They kept it 100. They were talking to these executives and CEOs like, look, no, that's wrong. That's the wrong idea. I've done it before. I sat right next to the CEO of ZTE at the time, and I sat right next to the CFO, and I tell these guys, don't release this phone at this price, and don't make it exclusive. You will sell a boatload of them. They didn't listen. What happened? No sales. People said it was garbage. People said it wasn't good. And some of the phones they should have released, they didn't release. LG, on the other hand, like I said, they're not flawless, but they needed to have had a better push for the marketing side, and then also getting the phones into people's hands that are actually going to review the products. Now, I'm not saying, now listen, I'm not going to sit on this video and tell you I'm the best reviewer, because I'm not. I don't think my editing skills are good. I think most of the people I watch that are in this circle that I'm in have way better setups than me. They do a better job than me. I'm a point and shoot type person and just talk to you. That's what I do. That's what I do. I don't have the patience to do all the split cut, all this other fancy stuff. I get them cats mad respect. I'm just not really in. I try to do it sometimes. You might get a pan or a zoom or something every now and then, but I'm telling you, if you're looking for that, you're on the wrong channel. I'm a top-down point or a nice vlog setup like this. A6100 Sigma 16mm lens. I love it. Shout out to Team Pixel, by the way. Still keeping it real. So, LG, back in the day, LG had this program, as a matter of fact, for YouTubers. And they was getting it. I was on this program. They was giving us these phones back in the day, like the V10, all these phones. They was sending us all of the G3, 5, 6. I was getting a lot of these phones, but they cut the program. You know what I'm saying? Well, they didn't cut it. They just moved on to different content creators. I'll say I got moved out eventually, and they picked some younger content creators. You know what I'm saying? They picked some young cats to represent. I respect. But LG needed a better PR team. Don't put the phones in the hands of Jennifer Lopez. Put it in the hands of Black Panther. Put it in the hands of Wolverine, Iron Man, or something. Dude, Captain America. I'm naming all the Marvel. Superman. Put it, DC, Marvel. Put it in the hands of something that you could have even done it with the Fast and Furious lineup. Even though that movie franchise is going in a whole other direction, you need to put it in the hands of people who's got something to do with tech, is what I'm saying. And because I know they have to promote this, they have to pay these big stars, or that's if you want to go the big star route. Or you can go ahead and keep it all the way 100 and just hold a convention with a mix of YouTubers, not these people that just have 10 million viewers. Because what that says to me, you don't really want real, not to say, again, piggybacking what Eric was saying, it's not that they're fake or they're giving a fake review. That's nothing to do with it. I've met these people and they are straight up nice people. But the difference between me and them, a lot of them, like 99% of them, that's their job. This isn't my job. I don't report to anybody. Which hand? Just this person. That's it. And the man above. Well, if he's above, he's actually with us, dwelling within us. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go there, but you know what I'm saying? That's who I report to. That's it. So when you see these people on YouTube doing this, it's like it's a job to them. I've met a lot of them. This is my income, man. I'm paying my bills with this. So you got to respect they hustle if they're getting millions of views and getting millions of subs and they're getting paid by all these companies. But again, like I said in the other video, I'm not saying because I think that might got misinterpreted a little bit by a few people. Like I'm trying to toot my own horn and say that, I'm just so much better than, no, that's nothing to do with it. I'm telling you for a fact right now, I have integrity when it comes to things in my life. It has nothing to do with YouTube all the time. This is just about doing the right thing all the time and trying to be as honest as possible, because you can rest assured I can get on this camera and lie to you about every phone that I get free. But free isn't really free, because the reality is you sign a non-disclosure agreement not to talk about certain things or show it at this point. You can't do it at this point. You can't do it at this time. I'm always under a non-disclosure agreement. I'm under like 4 or 5 right now because I've already seen stuff that you haven't seen, and I'm going to bring it to you later. But it's about that integrity of being honest and truthful when it is time to talk about it. Some phones are just great. They have no problems. There is absolutely nothing that I dislike about it. And we're all different. Like, you could think the screen is too low in the sunlight and I could think it's too bright. You see what I'm saying? So LG needed to hire a better PR team. You know what LG should do right now? to get themselves back off the, because you obviously you can tell there's a lot of people out there that don't want LG to stop making phones. They don't. Everybody out there who doesn't want LG to stop making phones, they need to do what ZTE did back in the day. Get a round table. ZTE used to do these pop-up round tables, call you up, be like, hey, look, you want to fly over here real quick? We having a conversation. It's going to be you and a whole bunch of random people. And we want to hear your thoughts on what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right, and we're going to show you some phones. ZTE did that. Those people kept it all the way real that was in those meetings, because what they did was they chose, let me get my air quotes ready. Do it with me. Get your air quotes ready. Regular street type people. Like regular people walking through Walmart, the grocery store, Walgreens, whatever. Just anywhere. Walking down the street. Hey, here's a $20 gift card. You want to come talk for a little bit? They're not swayed by that $20 gift card, because I would go in these, that's just like a bonus for coming. Or sometimes they'll say, hey, there's some incentive if you come chat with us for a little bit. Some monetary gains for you. You know what I'm saying? But when the people get in the room, I've sat in the room with these meetings, these roundtables, and some of these people is like people's grandmothers, that new mom, that new dad, that young guy headed to college, needs money, that person getting out of college. Let me tell you something. It's a mixed bag at these tables that they used to have for ZTE. I love them for doing that. LG, try something like that. You want to ball up and beast up like that and get your game back on your smartphones, because LG has great phones. Let's not sleep on that. But what's happened is they're getting pushed out by the powers that be. You understand what I'm saying? They got pushed out just because. Flat out. They got pushed out just because a few people, word of mouth, like I said in the other video for that Samsung video, word of mouth is powerful. If the right person is listening, you got it. Key point example right here, I'm gonna give it to you. One of the best phones that was ever released, one of the best phones that could have been, but got destroyed by word of mouth because it's powerful. The Essential phone. That storyline on the Essential phone is so tragic and so sad that we, as the people who actually are real enthusiasts, that are really gonna call these phones out for the good, the bad, and the ugly, the wrong, the right, it just gets passed over. So the lifespan of the Essential phone, it drops. Everybody says it's not worth it, when in fact it's way more worth it than. It's very much worth it over what was out at the time. It was innovation ahead of its time. The first titanium phone. Remember I told you about the clapping joint. The first titanium joint. Those people that be, the powers that be, oh, it's garbage, it's overpriced. But what happened? A couple things happened. The price dropped. Then everybody said, let's revisit it. All of us who had already had it, we just whipped ours open. It was like, we kind of hating a little bit because we lost on the price. So what did I do? The more colors drop. I start flipping those, getting as much as I can, then buying a couple of the other ones at the same price. I'm telling you, when that price drop on the Essential phone, you know the internet exploded with conversation and content about the Essential. All of a sudden, then it was just the best thing ever. Oh, it is pretty good. A phone can't be bad just because of the price. Does that make sense? This lies intact with LG. This phone is $1,000. Why isn't it worth $1,000? Because you're comparing it to the iPhone, the Pixel, the Samsung. You're comparing it to something else that it shouldn't be compared to technically for innovation-wise. You're comparing it to regular phones. So when you create your own lane, you ain't got nobody to compete with. Key point, Samsung Galaxy Note. Back in the day when it came out, everybody said this is gonna be garbage, it's too big. Look at the Note line now. What are we, 10 years later? Come on, son. Come on. When people try to create their own lane, here's some life advice and I'll get back to tech. Anytime your wheels start turning and you want something and it sounds crazy and other people telling you crazy for trying, go to it. Do it. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. But the Essential phone, rewind, Essential phone, the price drop. Yeah, that's the first thing that happened that made this phone gold. If you see you have your Essential phone, hashtag Essential down in the comments. The next thing that happened is they supported the phone for like another 2-3 years, right? That's the second thing that happened, and it made it a great phone all of a sudden. Does that make sense? It was good at the beginning. You just wasn't ready for it. You understand what I'm saying? The next thing that happened is everybody, here comes the power of the word of mouth. Everybody got in homeboy's business. They killed him because of his personal life, which is wrong. Because we all hypocrites, because we all need to stand in the mirror and figure out what we doing wrong before we start pointing out what everybody else is doing wrong. Remember that old saying, point one out, three pointing back at you? Yeah, some of you might be too young for that, but the reality is we judged, and I'm gonna say we, even though I didn't I think I even made a video pointing out who cares about his personal life. He's a rapist. He's man, listen, squash all that. Forget that. Forget that. Let's talk about the tech. The tech. That dude was the inventor. What did he create? Did y'all forget? Okay, you forgot. Let me take a sip of coffee on it. You forgot what he started, didn't you? Everybody's so quick to judge this cat. Everybody's so quick to judge this cat, and they ruined a good thing. I think he just didn't, he said, you know, he probably said, forget this, man. I'm a millionaire. I'm a gazillionaire. I don't need this. I'm retiring. I'll go into the hiding, or I'll go and live my life and just live out on this island somewhere. Mr. Rubin, hey, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not your judge. You know who your judge is, whether you believe that or not. And that goes for everybody watching this video. Whether you believe it or not, we all owe him a death. For real. So, tech, I'll get back to it. Hey, but this is me. I can't have some conversations without talking about it. The fact of the matter is, you killed that phone and that person's character, so you killed a part of tech. LG, people killed it off. People said, oh, it's people saying that the wing is a gimmick, but they don't have the phone and they haven't used it for as long as we have. You understand what I'm saying? They won't do it. I saw my man Grant S. Shout out to Grant S. You talking about a catalog. I'm a peon on the table when it comes to Grant S, man. This dude, you think Juan Bagnell, shout out to my man Juan Bagnell, easy again. You think they got some phones. You better go check Grant on the Lola. It's that quiet dude in the room who got that heat, for those that know. If you don't know, don't run up on the quiet dude. He's gonna put them things on you. And Grant got every freaking single phone. I bet you can challenge Grant to a phone off. You name a phone, you pull it out, I bet you he can pull it out too. And the generation prior to that. For real. That's for real. Me, I ain't balling like that. I mean, I'm a disabled vet, fixed income, doing YouTube on the side. I got my money right, but I'd rather not sit on that stuff. I'd rather some of the phones out and keep the ones that I personally feel. I can't keep them all. I'm not into keeping them all, basically. LG, you want to do a round table with your man Jay, Juan, Grant, Eric, Forbes Tech, My Project 13, anybody else I left out that really loves LG? You want to do a round table with some real G's? That's who you need to do it with. The G is for us, because we've been supporting your brand since day one, more than likely. You need to show some. You need to, before you throw in that towel, slide us some of them rolling phones and call us in a room together, fly us out. You can afford it. We still got all your appliances and stuff. You're getting paid off your TVs and appliances. So slide the right people into the right room. We'll tell you how to get that thing right, for real. So everybody worried about how I feel about LG. I feel about LG the way I feel about their Central Phone, HTC, Huawei, and ZTE. It's your man Jay. What else can I say? Bars.